everyone, and welcome to The Ride Home. Today, I wanted to take some time to talk about the one word that I avoid using. And for those of you who know me well, you know that I enjoy having conversation. But there is one very specific word that I intentionally try not to use. And when I find myself in conversation with others and find that they use it, I also make it a point to have some conversation around that. And that word is hate. The use of the word hate in literature right now has actually hit its historic peak since the 1800s. So, what does hate actually mean? Because one of the things that I've noticed when this word comes up in conversation, I usually tend to pause and will say, that's a really strong word. Do you know what that means? And we spark up some really great dialogue. But for the sake of the video, let's just go with what the textbook says. So when you look up the word hate and its meaning, it is described as an extreme, intolerable dislike towards something or someone. Intolerable was one of the words that really stood out to me. With that being said, hate tends to be a pretty charged word that can send a lot of responses and reactions within someone who truly feels that way. So, based on the fact that the word hate is being used now more than ever, what does it actually mean to you when you say it? And do you really mean it when you say it? So it really does sound like the word hate is being normalized. And there's a lot of things that can happen when we begin to normalize things. The very first thing that happens is that we stop becoming aware of it. We start becoming numb to what it does to us and what it does to others, as well as what it means to us, and more importantly, what it means to others. So I would say that this particular video is to help create awareness around the word hate. I will say this video is not intended to negate the fact that hate does exist. We see it every day, plastered across social platforms. We see it in people's behaviors when we are driving. Needless to say, we can all recognize that it does exist. But what does it mean to you? Well, I think that for all of us, including myself, hate, the actual word, is something that is very consuming. It's very negative. When you hate, truly hate, it consumes your emotions. It strips you of your humanity, your empathy. It blinds you. It really takes you to a place that a lot of people don't want to be a part of. And I honestly would say that I would hope that if you've never experienced what it means to hate somebody, I hope you never do. And if you do, I really hope that you find a way to heal from it. But when you think about hate, it sends a reaction through you. I would say, think about the last time you saw a social media post around somebody going off because of whatever reason it may be. You know, first of all, let's talk about what does hate look like. The response to hate looks like rage. It is rage. Another way that you look and see it, is justified violence. So when you're going through this social media and you see people literally yelling at the top of their lungs or bashing at a vehicle simply because somebody passed a red light or accidentally cut them off, to literally seeing one sector of population trying to eliminate an entire race for whatever reason they might think is justifiable. It sends an emotion through you. You can't help but feel a certain way. You kind of start to panic yourself and start to feel a little anxious about the way these people react. And it also makes you feel incredibly uncomfortable about how you may have to act around people who feel hate. Which is why, again, I talk a lot about the importance of not using this word. Why? Because if you're constantly saying that you hate this or you hate that, and it becomes so normal to you to use this in your daily vocabulary, people perceive you a certain way, right? So it takes me to the second point, which is, what does it do to others when you use the word hate? Number one, people start to become afraid of you. People start to feel like they might have to tiptoe around you because they don't know how you're going to respond based on how they've seen other people respond. This then sends the next response, which is that people start to avoid you. Nobody wants to tiptoe around anybody. Nobody wants to feel like they can't speak freely or be themselves. So they just avoid you completely, which then sends you into this feeling of isolation, and then triggers this whole back and forth of you feeling like it's you against the world over a word that you're using that you really should just try to avoid altogether. The third thing that it does, and to me the most important thing that it does to others, which is why I ask and I don't use it, and again encourage others not to use it, is that it grants others permission to behave with hate. If they see you comfortably saying that you hate this and you hate that, they begin to feel comfortable saying that. And when you say something over and over and over, it then grants you the permission to behave a certain way. And unfortunately, again, if you go onto social media, you can see more and more people feeling very comfortable expressing hate. Again, I'm not here to negate the fact that hate is real. I can't deny that. We're exposed to it. Rage, violence, genocide. We see it every day, which is why I avoid using the word. The more you use a word, the more it becomes a part of your unconsciousness, and the more tolerant you are to it, to what you do and what it does to others. And I pride myself on being a very tolerant person. And the one thing I don't want to tolerate is hate. And I also want to encourage others not to tolerate hate, and to be able to continue to be sure that when we do see it, that we're able to confront it and help stop it. On a side note, I would like to say this. The use of the word love in literature is significantly higher than the word hate is at this very moment. It's actually 4 times higher or more used. With that being said, it's not at its historic height, meaning that we're not using it at the most that it ever has. At its historic height, the word love was used 6 times higher than the word hate. This was around the 1840s, which leads me to another question. How often do you say it, and what does it mean to you? But that's going to be another conversation for a whole other video. Everyone, I do want to thank you for watching. I appreciate your comments. If you like this video, please feel free to hit like for the spirit of this video. If you dislike this video, feel free to hit the dislike button, and I would encourage you to share your comments and feedback as to why you didn't like the video or my channel. I'm always looking to improve this format. I started this platform for one particular reason: to help people, to motivate people and inspire people through gratitude and self-reflection. So if you feel that there's a different approach that I could take, please feel free to comment in the box. I'm always open to suggestions. If you noticed in this particular video, I wasn't moving in the vehicle. I decided to try something a little different this time. So let me know what you think. Everyone, thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate it. If you are a first-time user, I would encourage you to listen to some of the previous videos. If you like my platform, please feel free to subscribe. If you like this video and feel that someone else would benefit from the video, please feel free to share it. As always, everyone, thank you so much for listening. And as always, I will see you on the ride home.